so you mentioned, obviously you've helped hundreds, talked to hundreds of veterans, helping cope with their PTSD. Has there ever been a point or anyone in particular that stands out where at one point you were scared, or you could think, there's no way I can help this guy, or have you ever basically felt this person's a lost cause, or were you scared of anybody,
only time I was ever frightened is when I first started teaching a Vietnam War course up at Green River Community College. This was 1994. And the first day of the class, we were right in the middle of the class talking, and a guy walks in, opens the door, walks in, and I could tell he's like in his 50s, and he was real wild-eyed and kind of crazy looking, and he said, "Is this the Vietnam class?" And I said, "Yeah, it is." And I said, "Can I help you?" And he said, "My brother died in Vietnam. My twin brother died in Vietnam." And he said, "I was in the military too. I'm just here to see what you're doing." And I said, "Well, you can, I was trying to disarm, sit down, And he said, "No, I don't know." And then he started reaching behind his back like this, and I was a military policeman in the military before I was a pilot, so I thought, "Oh man, he's going for a gun," So I quickly jumped out in front of ran out in front and got by the door and got in front of him, to see what I could do. And luckily, he was just nervous, and he was just going like that. There was no weapon that I knew about, or at least he didn't show me one. And he said, I put people in the hospital over this, And I said, "Well, I'm really sorry to hear that. What happened?" "Well, they were imposters. They pretended to know something about Vietnam, and they didn't know it, and they pretended they were veterans." I said, "Well, I'm a veteran, and I have a PhD, and I teach this class. My brother was in Vietnam." And he said, "Well, how do I know that's true?" And as luck would have it, that day I had my discharge papers with me. I don't know why I had them in my bag, but I had something called a DD-214, which is the only proof that you have of having been in the military. So I picked it up and I gave it to him. He looked at it, and then it was like all that tension just kind of, he went like that, and he handed it back to me, and he said, "This is serious shit to me." That's what he said, and then he left. And he never came back. That was the only time I ever got scared.